Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to day two of Rise Above. I am so excited to bring to you the finance panel today, and it is with Miss Queenlan Alexis from Velocity Community Credit Union. How you doing today, Queenlan?
Hi, Johnny. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. And thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
Yes.
So
So
go ahead.
you and I definitely met when I was a teacher at Jupiter High School, but before then, we knew each other before I got into the high school. But um, you have always been a big part of the high school plan when we did the new football field and stadium. We were in contact when we were helping the students in the DECA program prepare them for the financial literacy promotion plan project. And you got a first place and a second place winner in the state of Florida. So I just thought this is the best opportunity to get you involved in a conversation on finance because I think a lot of our students right now are a little concerned on where do they go next, especially with COVID-19 happening and everything coming to a halt. How do I get to where I'm going? So we're doing a bunch of these panels, I will call them, to give some little insight into the industry. So I first and foremost just wanted to thank you for being a part of that conversation. So to get to that, I kind of want to know where did you start to get into this industry?
Wow, Johnny, again, thanks for having me. And hello, everyone. Where I started, for me, it was honestly in high school. It was just questioning, what do I want to do? Junior year, growing up, I thought I want to be a chiropractor. I had the opportunity to intern at a chiropractic office for 6 months. And, I realized that this wasn't for me. So then I moved on to the a medical office and worked in different areas, and then just decided that medical field is not for me. So as I just enrolled full time at Palm Beach State College and worked part time at Radio Shack. And working part time at Radio Shack, I had an amazing boss, very accommodating with my school schedule, and just learning on the retail side. And I had a customer that came in that asked about coax cables. Now, if you don't know what coax cables, then I'm getting old because this is taking it back. So it goes to the back of the TV. And this gentleman had a lot of questions and wanted to know different lens and connectors. And I took the time to explain what we had in stock and also different options online. So in the meantime, I'm printing and I gave him my business card. He came back a week later and shared that although he was price shopping and I didn't realize it, but he came back because of the personalized service that he received, and he shared that with my manager and myself. And my manager just thanked him for coming back, and he explained that he was actually renovating a hotel and needed 300 coax cables. So because of this sale, I was number one in the district. And I learned early on that no matter who comes into that door, you offer that personalized service, whether they're coming in with a broken radio or batteries or coax cables. So, in the means of while keeping that mindset, a potential customer or customer came in, and actually because of the personalized service, offered me a position at another credit union. And I'm 19 years old, and I'm like, okay, do I want to do this? Because when I go to the bank, it's checking savings. And so it was a new opportunity. It was more income and just to grow. And so that's where I started in the financial industry and started at this credit union. And it was a challenge at first because I would have to travel 45 minutes to an hour down south for training. And this was, at 19, like, okay, this is an adjustment. But they offered 3 months training, paid hotel, and a food package expense allowance. And I said, okay, so this is how they do it in the real world. And I went and I learned so much, so many different aspects of the financial industry behind the scenes, whether it's the fraud department, credit, business lending, home equity line of credit. So for me, is when that's where it started, where this is my passion and helping people in the financial industry.
And it's so funny that you said that. Yesterday we had the panel for hospitality, and a lot of conversations was that personal touch, and that in that industry. And it's funny that you're saying that just that personal touch to a customer service entity feeds into the finance industry as well. That was, I'm glad that you said that. I didn't know. So, so you work for Velocity Community Credit Union. Can you give us more information about who they are, what they do, and how can we find out more about services there?
Absolutely. So I work at Velocity Community Credit Union. We were founded by Pratt and Whitney, formerly known as Florida Aircraft. We have been in Palm Beach County since 1958, and we became a community charter 12 years ago. So community charter means anyone in Palm Beach County can join the credit union, whether you live, work, worship, volunteer, or go to school, you're eligible to join. And it's easy, especially now with everything going on. You can check out velocitycommunity.org and join. But we are a full service financial institution. We have your traditional checking savings. We have a financial planner. We have a mortgage department, credit card department. We are lending. Very, very, very competitive. Honestly, we want to be your one-stop shop. We offer homeowners insurance. We offer a an auto advisor where he can do the shopping for you. So, and honestly, this is part of my day to day. So it's just informing and educating people that we're here for them, what we have to offer. And on the business development side, it's not just offering, it's also working with business partners. We service over 300 business partners. So it's bringing the credit union to you, and now virtually. And so we do the financial literacy, which we worked heavily with Johnny in the DECA program, which is so rewarding. I'm working with different schools throughout Palm Beach County, community outreach. I love to say, I'm happy to be a part of this because Velocity Community Credit Union, community is our middle name. So this past weekend, we worked with Back to School Bash, helping underprivileged kids. We partnered with Live Like Jake for the run, 5K. We had 28 employees that participated. We work with Peggy Adams. So it's not just about, okay, I'm not selling, I'm just educating. And in addition to educating, it's, hey, we're all about working with the community and giving back to the community. And that's why I love my job.
And I will say 100%, when you go there, when you meet somebody from Velocity, it's always a welcoming feeling. There's never not a time that I've been there where I haven't been welcomed. So I will 100% agree with you on that, that they do not push the sales on you. They really try to educate you and get you to understand how to be financially fit. I call it every time with my kids. I say that all the time when I talked with my students at the high school. Thank you for giving us a little bit of piece about Velocity, because I think that's very important that individuals understand. Because when I was a teacher, I didn't truly understand the difference between a bank and a credit union. And Queenland beat it into me. She did. So,
Yeah. So
are you able to give us a little tip of that?
Yeah. So credit unions are not for profit, and we are owned by our members. So and because we're owned by our members, you are part owner, so you have a share, and that's why it's the $5 that stays in your savings account. That's your share in being a credit union owner. So we value our members. We listen to what they have to say, because that's why we're still here since 1958.
True. That is very true, people. So in your industry, what does it entail?
Honestly, it's overall making business better. That's increasing revenue, finding opportunities, and that it could be on the lending side, but it's networking, building partnerships. And it's important while you're building these partnerships, it's maintaining the relationships along the way. Like Johnny, I've known you for how many years, and working with Jupiter High School, so many opportunities have come out of that. And then while in this industry, it's strategic selling. So that was an adjustment for me, because I'm used to, like, you sell something, you get the results. Strategic selling, it's work. And it's following up. And it's also like multiple hands in the cookie jar, because sometimes it's not one person that makes a decision. So you may have to meet with the HR director, you may have to meet with the benefits manager, but it's tailoring it to the business. So that was an adjustment. And also, hey, it's not one size fits all. So that comes with the business development territory, and most importantly, networking.
True. Now,
So,
we talk to the kids, about finance, and in the first thing that comes to mind is accounting, or being a bank teller, or being a boss of the bank. There's so much more, I think, involved with it. And you name business development, but what are some other areas within inside of Velocity that you have for work?
well, we've done tours for high school, middle school kids, even scouts. And what we'll do is we'll explain the different departments and the roles that they contribute to the credit union. And so what a lot of people don't know is when you walk in, yes, you see the teller line, you see the member consultants for the new accounts. We have a financial planner, a financial advisor, which he's phenomenal, over 20 years experience. We have your mortgage department, and mortgage department, you walk in, there's so many different aspects of mortgages, especially on the processing side. But when you go upstairs, we have collections, we have risk management, fraud, we have card services, so accounting, and marketing, business development. So it's pretty cool because you can do so much. Like if you love accounting, you love numbers, we have accounting department, and month end they are balancing those numbers. So and it's we don't go there around that time, but it's pretty cool because just everything makes sense. Everything is tied in. We have something called GL numbers. So even with expenses that come from business development, all that's tied to accounting. So even though I don't work in accounting, but I work with accounting, and that ties in with marketing. Marketing is a huge asset with the credit union working with business development because they help us create the material. And when you observe their softwares, and with geo targeting, with social media, all that plays a role. So there's positions just for social media out there. So there's so many different aspects of the financial industry.
Yeah. And I think that's very important to know because there are some students who really need to understand that there's different roles within finance. It's not just your 9 to 5 cookie cutter job. You're going to deal with customers, you're going to deal with people. And if you are a people's person, I think the finance industry is an area for you to look into as well, because they need that personal touch, as we talked about in the beginning of
Mhm.
this. Moving along, I want to know so where did you start within the credit union and how did you get to where you are now?
Okay, so when I came to Velocity 11 years ago, I was in the consumer lending side. So I was a loan officer. And the loan officer, I was there as a loan officer, there for 3 years, which was awesome because early on, I didn't realize it, but I was building relationships. And it just happened organically where you're helping people. And I love the fact that you're educating people about credit. I'm not just going to tell you your rate is this or you qualify for this. I'm going to go through your credit report with you and talk about different options, whether it's building, rebuilding, establishing. I want to be your go-to person. So, and I just that report just built when, and it would spread the word. I've helped a member that owns a dealership, and also he works with a financial planner. And lo and behold, because of the level of service, and he was asking a lot of questions, and it was just like, and I was on it and followed up with him. So he came back and said, "Hey, who do we need to talk to because I have an opportunity for you?" I'm like, "Okay, we could talk to my boss." Like, and because of the work ethic, because of the consistency and the personalized service, he was referring NFL and NBA players. So talk about financing Rolls Royce Ghost loans for 300,000, and that was you're building relationships. So when these players would come into my office, that's why I say it's truly beneficial because it doesn't matter who you are, how much money you have, it is a good tool to know. And I would go through. And sometimes when they would come into my office, they would have to bend down to come in. So it's like, hey, but it was truly rewarding. And it was, at the end of the day, everyone's the same. And I knew that there was something that I was building, because I would have members in the lobby waiting for me. And it's like, okay, hey, can I help? Can I have someone else help you because I have someone else in my office? No, I'll wait. And so my boss, chief lending officer at the time, would walk by, and yeah, everyone should know this: no one waits. You don't leave alone in the lobby. You take care of that member. And when that person wanted to wait, it was like, okay, and then another person. So I would take care of that person, bring in the next one, take care of that person, and then so on. And so it was just like, at the end of the day, I'm helping my members. So an opportunity came to work with business development at the Jupiter Jubilee. If you're familiar with this event, it's a very well attended event, over 5,000 people and more attend. So I had the opportunity to work it as a loan officer. So this is my first event with Velocity Community Credit Union with business development, and I'm talking about velocity, but more importantly, okay, hey, I'm here for you and loan opportunities. So and if you're in business development and marketing, there's something that I like to say on, and it's that switch. And once that switch flips, guess what? Showtime. And it's like nonstop. You're talking to people, and I'm taking their information. It's like I'm getting leads. And so the another loan officer, so we're switching shifts. So it's 4 hour shift. And so for the overlap, she's just observing me. And she says, "You're really good at this." And I'm like laughing, like, "Oh, I'm just talking to people." And she's like, "No, you are." I was like, "Okay, thank you." So we go to work the next business day. I'm putting in my leads, I'm following up with the potential members. And she goes to my boss and says, "You have Queenland in the wrong department. She needs to be in business development." And at the time, there was a business development special rep position open. So he comes over and says, "Have you ever thought about business development?" Uh, no. And so he says, "Well, you should try it." So I started in business development as a business development rep, which is entry level. So for me, it was an adjustment, and it was a challenge, and it was, I'm going to do this. And I did so much research, took the initiative, I took certifications. So it's like, I'm going to figure this out. And just from the just implementing, looking for new ideas, and that led me to a promotion as a business development specialist. So becoming a business development specialist, it was okay, now what's next? And that was working with Jupiter High School, the stadium. This was the first time Velocity Community Credit Union has ever took this initiative in investing $100,000. So that was meeting with attorneys. I learned so much from that experience, and also most importantly, working with the students and giving back to the community. So that just from the beginning, I learned a lot about contracts and relationships and the follow through. And Johnny, yes, Johnny was amazing through the process and was on it. So when we got to work together, it just flourished. And I have to give credit to Ernie Cox. He was amazing, 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 and truly took the time out to help push this thing through with us. So after just that, a lot of events came from it. It was incorporating and adding the financial literacy, working with the students on the competitions. And then it's like, okay, what else can we do? So then it's working with other schools and implementing financial literacy, and it's looking for community events. So our goal back in the day was, if there was 20, 25 events. Now we're doing over 100 events. And so there's a lot of opportunity, and most importantly, it's exposure. Because we are a community chartered credit union and we've been out for 12 years on the community chartered side, a lot of people are not familiar with Velocity Community Credit Union. But since these events, since working with the schools, that's exposure, that's marketing. So taking the initiative, having that drive has and strong leadership skill. I don't like to take no for an answer. We got to have a solution to give me that yes. And so it's getting creative and finding those opportunities, and having those skills is what got me to the business development management position.
Yeah, and I will say, being a part of that process, I didn't really get to sit on the football stadium piece of it, but I know Mike DiLeonardo, Todd Woodrowska, the town, Ernie Cox. You had Dan Frank, Colleen Ionetti, uh, and I believe you had some student input too about that stadium piece. So I think that was a big deal for
Mhm.
Velocity and Jupiter at the same time.
Yes.
Quinlan, you hit on it a little bit, and it wasn't something I was going to bring up, but I really think it's important that the kids should know this. Do you have to have a degree to work in a credit union bank?
No, you don't have to have a degree. Like before I started, I got a lot of training, a lot of hands-on experience, but also taking the initiative because there are certifications, there are classes that you can take series if you want to learn. The key thing is you have to want to learn. You have to take the initiative because it's not going to be given to you. And I say this because it changes and the business development is different for every industry. And so there's classes. I took public speaking at Palm Beach State College, and that helped me. And also learning the financial. So it's working with other departments because it's also that support system. If you don't understand, how you're going to learn. So it's asking those questions, going behind the scenes. But no, you can learn. And I see that with every department. I see that at different financial institution. It just depends on what they have in place.
And please note, this is not a discouragement of going to get that degree in finance or marketing or whatever it may be. We are just wanting to make sure that you understand that there's an opportunity for you right outside of high school.
Yes.
Get that high school diploma. You can work in the finance industry. And I think it's also key to say at this point too is if you're going to college and you're going to get that degree, it is okay to work while you're getting that degree and obtaining that degree, because why have a loan held over your head um, that you're going to have to pay back after you graduate,
Mhm.
and you're struggling to find a job. You may not make as much. It's good to get those entry levels now, and then
Mhm.
by the time you graduate, be able to step into some roles along the way. Um, so thank you for answering that, Quinlan, because I know that wasn't in our conversation.
No,
I
it's fine.
didn't want to throw it in there on you, but um, how should these students start truly preparing in I look at the middle school level right now, and there's some kids that tell me, oh, I want to do medical, oh, I want to do culinary, oh, I want to do finance. And I know you worked with Duncan Middle School's finance academy.
Mhm.
Yes, there is a finance academy in middle school for those that did not know. um, what do they need to do besides being a part of that finance academy? What else could they do?
Key skills, creative thinking, think outside of the box, stay hungry, especially now on the business development side. We are going through a global pandemic. We're not able to go to every single business. So, what we did is we worked with marketing and converted our products and services, brochures, our flyers electronically. And now we're offering virtual seminars. So, if you don't think outside the box and you're complacent, then opportunities are going to pass you by. Communication skill is a big one because you want to make sure that people are on the same page with you and they understand what you're trying to accomplish and what they want to accomplish. So negotiation, that I learned that early on, especially looking at contracts and looking at opportunities because you want to justify the cost. You want to show that you have the company's best interest at heart. You're not spending money just to spend money. So that's why you don't want to present something and no is the answer. You need to have reasons on why this is the yes, why we should do this. Because if that's the case, half the projects we do would not be here today. So stay goal focused, stay goal oriented, and always look for new opportunities. Because at the end of the day, having these skills, you can take them anywhere, anywhere.
Anyway, and that is very true. Um, the last thing I think I want to get out of you, and I mean, we've worked together for I don't know, so many years, and there's some advices along the way that you've given me that I've said, and we were like, oh, that's what So, what is one piece of advice that you have received that you think can help somebody else right now?
One thing I received it later on, so I'm going to give this to you young ones now. Every day is an interview. I learned this from a former boss, and it stuck with me as I've progressed because opportunities that have come is because of work ethic, and it's because of how you carry yourself and how you just, think like business minded. Having that mindset. So that stuck with me, but also whatever you are doing, give it 100%, even if you feel you're at 50%. And I say this because everyone is going through something, or someone that is. So if you don't give it your all, someone else will. So it's important to build your work ethic and to stay focused.
And ladies and gentlemen, I don't think we can end that any other way but by saying, you heard it yesterday, you heard it today. You are your personal brand. Nobody can promote you more than you.
Mhm.
If you're hungry and you want it, you'll go and get it. So
Yes.
thank you so much, Miss Alexis. We appreciate your time and being a part of this discussion. It will be live. It's live, and we're going to have it up on YouTube. And you'll also see it on IGTV, Facebook, and Twitter. So thank you so much for being a part of this conversation. And if you want to find out more about Velocity Community Credit Union, be sure to go visit them down at their Palm Beach Garden branch, Royal Palm branch, or Jupiter branch. Um, and ask for Quinlan. She'll come down and say hi.
I will. I will.
So
And if you
thank you
need
all so
contact
much.
information, Johnny could give it to you. It's on my business card. So it's not a five position. It's not a 9 to 5 position. So we're here all the time. But thank you so much, Johnny, for having me. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you.